Y'all, I'm actually gonna miss Skip Bayless. If this is the end, I'm actually gonna miss the man. Hold on now first. You didn't criticize it, man. Oh, hold on. Give me a chance to explain myself. Okay. Before I do, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I am your homeboy first, and this is the realest, most entertaining show in the game. Put it on some again. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that share button, put all your people on it. Okay. So yes, I have critiqued Skip Bayless many times, okay? But I critique all these folks in media. I can't get on their shows and debate with them for real like that. So I critique them here. And yes, I have disagreed with Skip Bayless. But I've also been entertained by Skip Bayless. Some call Skip Bayless the godfather of sports debate. Now, I don't go as far as to say that just because I got to shout out Tony Kornheiser and Michael Wilbon, who've been doing that damn show PTI since I was in high school, at least, maybe even middle school. But when it comes to what we think of as these morning shows, and they be running for 2-3 hours, Skip is the man that brought us that. See, what Skip Bayless figured out, and maybe I'm wrong with this, okay? Again, growing up here in still a segregated society, I don't know what our white brothers be doing in the barbershop, okay? But I know what us black brothers do in the barbershop. We talk sports, we talk politics, and you may talk women, okay? And what it seems like Skip Bayless mastered is tapping in the black barbershop culture. Like he tapped in to being the white guy on Coming to America in the barbershop amongst the black guys debating sports. Okay? That's what he tapped into. He's the white guy who was going for Rocky Marciano. Okay? And everybody looking upside his head crazy when he hollering about Rocky Marciano. But he repping for the white boy. So when you saw Skip talking about Tebow, when you saw how Skip was devoted to Tom Brady, Baker Mayfield, like a lot of these takes, that's the same shit like the white guy on Coming to America, okay? But you notice how he mastered having a black guy opposite him, okay? Stephen A. Smith, then Shannon Sharpe. Didn't work out as well with Keyshawn Johnson and Richard Sherman and Paul Pierce, okay? They don't have the charisma that those other two have, okay? I don't fuck with Stephen A. Smith whatsoever, and I don't fuck with Shannon Sharpe after he allowed Deion Sanders to go on there and do a hit piece on Jack State University like that. Okay, but I do acknowledge that those men are entertaining. I acknowledge that, and that they are very charismatic when it comes to what they do. I acknowledge that. Okay, and so Skip being opposite them was ratings gold. It was. Let's not forget that. You enjoyed yourself some of those days after a Cowboys game, especially if they lost. And Stephen A giving it to his ass, pause, and Shannon. Oh, some of him and Shannon's worst fights came after that shit. After a Cowboys loss or a Tom Brady loss. Cause that motherfucker Skip Bayless really was feeling whatever he get on these shows and say he really feel that shit. He really feels that shit. other than maybe one thing that he's shown enough known for, and that's his LeBron hate. I'm telling y'all, I'm saying it now, and I will keep saying it. I do believe Skip Bayless is really secretly LeBron James' #1 fan. Okay, some weird shit. I know the hate, the vitriol that he thrown his way, but for a man to tell his wife they can't go nowhere doing a LeBron game, that sounds like a fan to me, Jack. That sounds like a fan. Okay, but but other than that, when it comes to them Cowboys, he really feel that shit. When it comes to his love of Tom Brady, he really feel that shit. For whatever reason, why he was supporting Baker Mayfield like that, he really felt that shit. Now, some may say it was because Baker Mayfield went to Oklahoma, but he would tell you that ain't it because he ain't fuck with Sam Bradford like that. So I don't know. He loved that motherfucker. The Tebow shit, that was insane, but he felt that shit. Okay. And so to put those kind of takes opposite Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharpe, those were hits. Now, some might say, first, you goddamn a black liberation motherfucker. How you gonna say up there you fuck with this white man, he racist? I watched a whole lot of Skip Bayless. I don't know if he's racist. Again, the definition of racism, the belief that one race is superior to another. I don't know if Skip Bayless thinks that he is superior to black people just because he's a white man. He routinely gave Shannon Shaw room to talk politics on the show, which is something I don't watch Nightcap. I might see clips on social media like that, but I don't really watch that. So I don't know if Shannon is going into politics like he used to go into politics on Undisputed or not. Y'all would have to let me know. But Skip Bayless was taking a step back, and if Shannon wanted to snap out about some fuck shit in politics that, especially if it was dealing with race, he'll step back and let Shannon go off. You know what I'm saying? He was the boss of the show. Skip Bayless was the boss of the show. He's the one that came up with the topics and all that kind of shit. And so he would step back and let Shannon rip. You know what I'm saying? He's talked about before his fucked up upbringing and how actually a black lady really raised him. I do believe that he does some racially insensitive shit. Which even some white people who aren't racist do tend to do. I think that the whole shit with him and Shannon, with the put your glasses back on, that was racially insensitive. To sit up there and say that shit to a black man like that and not think about how this shit gonna come off, that's racially insensitive. Out of respect for your black colleague, you shouldn't have done that. And I don't know what the behind the scenes was about that. That he should have probably done a public. If he apologized in private, he should have done a public apology. I don't know if that happened, but it seems like there was some power dynamics there. Like, I'm the boss. What the fuck are you doing? You interrupting me. You know how he got in his feelings about being interrupted. He got in his feelings about them Cowboys. Got in his feelings about them about whoever Brady played for. About Brady in particular, because he ain't fuck with Belichick like that, and he act like the Bucks sucked without Brady. Even though that team around him was good, the defense was good, the motherfuckers they brought in was good. They brought in Gronk, they brought in Antonio Brown. You already had Mike Evans there. You brought in Leonard Fournette, all that kind of shit. But it was all about Brady for him. But I've seen one of my youngins stop talking to me because of Steph Curry. I've seen my youngins get into it, but in debates over KD and LeBron, or Steph and LeBron, like motherfuckers who are real passionate about this sports shit, they get like that. Now, I'm not making excuse for the motherfucker. I'm just saying I've seen this shit before. So I don't think the man's racist. Notwithstanding his weird relationship with Lil Wayne. You know what I'm saying? He called Lil Wayne his brother. It's like he goes out of his way to publicize his relationship with Lil Wayne. So I don't think the man's racist. But I do know this. I can say this with certainty. That motherfucker loves sports. He loves to watch sports. He loves to talk about sports. He loves to write about sports. I read one of his books on the Dallas Cowboys. I enjoyed the book. And he's not one of these motherfuckers that I can point to and say, man, he don't watch the game. Now, clearly, it's some shit that I think he has forgotten, like from my Michael Jordan research. Even some of the shit he says in defense of Michael Jordan, it's some stuff he leaving on the table because maybe he just doesn't remember it from back then. But when it comes to the shit, the topics he covers, the Cowboys, he ain't missing a snap. LeBron, he ain't missing a dribble. When Brady was playing, he wasn't missing that shit. Like he gon' whatever he gonna talk about, that motherfucker gonna watch it. He doesn't have any kids because of that. So that motherfucker totally devoted to his shit. I can't say that about Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith clearly be showing us he don't be watching them fucking games. Hell, he on TV all goddamn day. How can they watch the games and be on TV simultaneously? It don't work like that. Charles Barkley, Shaq, them motherfuckers let us know all the time they don't be watching the game. They be back there. Chuck be watching Law and Order. Shaq be goddamn in the back DJing and breakdancing and shit. I don't know. This motherfucker really watched them games. Okay. He might not watch all of them. Okay. So you might not get a variation of topics. Like your team might be leading the AFC North. And he ain't finna talk about them motherfuckers. He don't talk, but for what he is talking about, he watched this shit. So you gotta respect a motherfucker being that dedicated to what the fuck he doing. Even if what he doing is hating. Even if he just hate watching LeBron, he watching his ass. And he'll come in and talk about it. He will hate watching Westbrook. And I couldn't stand that bullshit. I could not stand it. I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand it. And I told y'all before, I believe that was personal, not necessarily racial. Because I've seen him go hard for black athletes before as well. You know, most famously goes hard for Michael Jordan, where Jordan's every goddamn show and all that kind of shit. Goes hard for Eric Dickerson, calls Eric Dickerson the greatest running back ever. Used to have him on the show and shit like that. I enjoyed those segments with as he called himself the Ram Ambassador. I used to enjoy those segments. But with Russ, it was because that motherfucker's hometown embraced Russ instead of his ass. Like when he was criticizing Russ and KD being there together, he was saying KD the best player in the world, and Russ is holding him back, and Oklahoma was not fucking with him over that. That man didn't like that. And so, you know, he just made it his business to stick it to Russ whenever he could. Personal shit, not right. Not right. That's one of them things I disagree with him strong on. Okay. But overall, it's undeniable that one Skip Bayless contributed a lot to sports media and sports journalism. He was once a journalist. Okay. And so it's gonna be weird not having him on now. Okay. Maybe he'll pop up in some other capacity. Maybe him and Stephen A may reunite in some other capacity if ESPN chooses not to drop whatever this big bag is that Stephen A wants. We'll see. But as of right now, folks are saying it's the end of Skip Bayless. What say you? Put it on something.
Please subscribe to my daddy's YouTube channel because the more subscribers he gets, the more attractive he looks to sponsors. The more attractive he looks to sponsors, the more money he can make. And the more money he can make, the more money he can spend on me.